Welcome back to the channel, fellow Port Charles addicts. Today is a beautiful day, but tonight is all about the drama. Grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's get right into the thick of it because we have a massive, show-altering bombshell to unpack from this latest episode. I cannot believe they just did that. I mean, I am literally sitting here staring at my screen at 2 in the morning, shaking with absolute rage, and you guys know I've been watching this show for years, and I have seen some wild, heartbreaking betrayals. But this takes the absolute cake. I am so furious I can barely type, but I need to get this out of my system, and we need to talk about this right now. Did you all see Curtis in that hospital room? Did you see the exact moment his entire heart just shattered into a million pieces? Because I did, and I am not okay. I'm sorry, but Portia Robinson is officially the most toxic person in Port Charles, and I am not afraid to say it. Am I the only one who wants to throw a brick through the television every time she smiles right now? Let's back up for a second and really look at how this scene started, because the writers were being so incredibly cruel with this setup. We had Curtis Ashford, this man who has been through absolute hell and back, finally getting a moment of pure, unadulterated joy. He is standing there in the General Hospital maternity wing, holding this tiny, fragile newborn baby boy. The lighting in the room was so soft, and the acting was just phenomenal. You could see the tears welling up in his eyes. He missed out on Trina's entire childhood because of Portia's lies, and you could tell that in this moment, holding this baby, he felt like the universe was finally giving him a second chance. He was looking at that baby with so much love, promising to be there for every single mile. And I was sitting there, actually tearing up, thinking, wow, maybe they are finally going to let Curtis be happy. But no, of course not. Because this is our show, and happiness is just a setup for absolute devastation. So Curtis is having this beautiful emotional bonding moment, and then a random nurse comes in and absentmindedly leaves the baby's medical chart on the side table. I mean, HIPAA violations much? But whatever, that's par for the course in this hospital. Curtis, just being a proud dad, glances over at the chart. And you guys, the camera zoomed in on his face, and you could literally pinpoint the exact millisecond his soul left his body. He looked at the blood type, the baby's blood type, and it completely, 100% contradicted basic genetics. It was a blood type that neither Curtis nor Portia could possibly produce together. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me explain the biology for a second, because I actually paused the episode and Googled Punnett squares to make sure I wasn't crazy. The baby's blood type is a biological impossibility for Curtis and Portia, based on the laws of heredity. And Curtis is a smart guy. He was a private investigator. He knows how to read evidence, and he knows how to spot a glaring inconsistency. He looked at that chart, and the realization hit him like a runaway freight train. The blood types don't match. And if the blood types don't match, then that baby is not his. I could practically hear the glass shattering in his mind. All that joy, all that redemption, all that healing from the Trina situation, gone. Incinerated in a matter of seconds. And we all know exactly who the father is, don't we? Isaiah Gannon. I mean, it has to be Isaiah. Who else has Portia been tangled up with? Who else has been hovering around this entire pregnancy like a lost puppy? Isaiah. Remember how he was feeling the baby kick and Curtis completely lost his mind and assaulted him? Curtis slugged the guy into a table because he was so fiercely territorial over his baby. And now, the sick, twisted irony of it all is that it was Isaiah's baby all along. Isaiah is the real biological father. I am sick to my stomach thinking about how Portia let Curtis fight for this child, let him face criminal assault charges, let him face a massive civil lawsuit, all while knowing there was a huge chance the baby wasn't even his. I'm sorry, but can we talk about Portia for a minute? Because I have defended her in the past, I really have. But I am done. I am so officially done with her character. Remember when they tried this exact same storyline with Trina? Yeah, didn't work then either. She lied to Curtis for 20 years about Trina's paternity. She let Marcus Taggart raise a child that wasn't his, and she robbed Curtis of 2 decades of fatherhood. That was a trauma that nearly destroyed their entire family. Trina was traumatized, Curtis was traumatized, Taggart was completely destroyed. And Portia stood there crying, playing the victim, swearing up and down that she would never, ever keep another secret like that again. She swore she had learned her lesson and that honesty was her new policy. But she didn't learn a damn thing. She is doing it again. How do you look your husband in the eye, knowing the immense, agonizing pain you caused him by lying about his first child, and then turn around and do the exact same thing with a second child? It is pathological. It is genuinely pathological at this point. She is building this new, happy little family on a foundation of toxic, poisonous lies. She let Curtis hold that baby, let him bond with that baby, let him pour his heart out to that baby, knowing full well that Isaiah could be the father. She is cruel. I don't care what anyone says. Portia Robinson is a cruel, selfish woman who only cares about protecting her own perfect image and her own comfortable life. Okay, back to the point. Back to that hospital room. What absolutely killed me about this scene wasn't just the reveal, it was Curtis's reaction. If this was the old Curtis, he would have started yelling immediately. He would have confronted her right then and there, waving the medical chart in her face and demanding answers. He would have flipped a table and stormed out. But he didn't. And that is what makes this so much more terrifying. He went completely, terrifyingly still. His face just turned to stone. You could see the walls slamming down around his heart. He didn't say a word. He just carefully put the chart down, looked at Portia sleeping in the hospital bed, and his eyes were completely dead. The warmth was just gone. He is going to keep quiet. I know it. You know it. He is going to play the long game. Because he knows that if he confronts her now, she will lie. She will spin some elaborate web of excuses. She will cry, she will manipulate him, and she will try to gaslight him into thinking the hospital made a mistake. So, instead, he is going to secretly get a DNA test. He is going to swab that baby's cheek and send it off to a private lab, and he is going to get the undeniable, concrete proof before he drops the nuclear bomb on her life. And honestly, I am so here for it. I want him to gather his evidence. I want him to have all his ducks in a row so that when he finally confronts her, she has absolutely nowhere to hide. But watching him pull away is going to be absolute torture for us viewers. We're already seeing it start. The episode ended with Portia waking up, smiling this glowing, happy mother smile, and reaching out for him. And Curtis? He physically recoiled. He took a step back from the bed. He made up some flimsy excuse about needing to get coffee or talk to the doctor, and he just walked out of the room, leaving her confused. He is abandoning her emotionally at the exact moment she needs him the most, right after giving birth. And part of me feels a tiny bit bad for her, because she just went through a traumatic, unexpected home labor, but then I remember what she is doing to him, and all my sympathy just evaporates. She deserves the coldness. She earned every ounce of his distance. And what about Trina? Oh my God, Trina. My heart is bleeding for that girl. She just finally set boundaries. She just officially told her parents that she needed space from their toxic drama to focus on her music showcase and her art and her own life. She has been through so much with the Spencer Cassadine drama, the Esme nightmare, the paternity reveal. She finally gets to a healthy place, she finally crushes her showcase with Gio, and now her mother is about to blow up their family all over again. When Trina finds out that Portia lied about another baby, it's going to destroy the relationship permanently. Trina will never forgive her for doing this to Curtis twice. Never. It is going to be a total family apocalypse. And then there's the Isaiah factor. I know some people are loving this Isaiah and Portia dynamic, but personally, I think it's a mess. Isaiah is out in the hallway, moping around, regretting that he missed the birth. Stella had to literally tell him to back off and give the family space. But Isaiah is the father. He has a right to that child. And Curtis is currently facing a massive civil lawsuit and potential prison time because he assaulted Isaiah over a baby that is actually Isaiah's. The legal ramifications of this are insane. If Curtis goes to prison for assaulting the real father of the baby he thought was his, I can't. The writers are weaving a tangled web here, and it is going to choke all of them. It's brilliant drama, but it is so frustrating to watch. And can we talk about the absolute irony of Jordan Ashford being the one to deliver this baby? Jordan, Curtis's ex-wife, the woman who Portia has been incredibly insecure about, is the one who stepped up and acted as a midwife when Portia went into unexpected labor at home. Jordan saved that baby's life, and now that baby isn't even Curtis's. The psychological layers here are just astounding. Jordan's going to be dragged right back into the middle of this Ashford family implosion, and I honestly don't know whose side she's going to take when the dust settles. Will she feel sorry for Portia, or will she help Curtis pack his bags? I see the comments on Twitter and the message boards. I know there are Portia apologists out there who are going to say, oh, she was just scared. She didn't want to ruin her marriage? She was probably going to tell him eventually. No. Stop it. Stop defending this behavior. A lie of omission is still a lie. And when you have already committed the ultimate sin in a marriage by hiding a child's paternity for 20 years, you do not get a pass for doing it a second time. You just don't. Curtis has forgiven her for so much. He stood by her. He married her. And this is how she repays him? By making him fall in love with a son that isn't his? It is unforgivable. I am just so emotionally drained by this storyline, but I also can't. I am dreading the next few weeks, because I know it's going to be agonizing, watching Curtis pretend everything is fine while he waits for those DNA results. It's going to be like watching a car crash in slow motion. Every time Portia smiles and talks about our beautiful son, Curtis is going to die a little more inside. And we are going to have to watch him suffer in silence. I just want Curtis to be happy. Is that too much to ask? Can the writers just give this man a break? Give him a dog or a hobby or something? Because these romantic relationships are completely ruining his life. So, what's next? My prediction is that Curtis is going to get the DNA results right around the time of the baby's christening or some big family event. He's going to wait until everyone is gathered. Stella, Marshall, Trina, Jordan, maybe even Isaiah, and he's going to drop the paperwork right in Portia's lap. He is going to blow her life up publicly, and it is going to be the soap opera moment of the decade. I am counting down the days. But until then, I am going to be venting in the group chats, because this level of betrayal is just too much to handle. Let me know if you guys are as furious as I am, because I seriously need to know I'm not the only one losing my mind over this.